Check, check, check.
Check.
Got it.
Sweet.
Cool.
Sorted. So, thank you for taking the time to talk to me
It's an
today.
absolute pleasure, Lauren.
How have you been?
Yeah, it's been good. We came over to Ireland on Thursday for a run of short dates. We played on Belfast on Thursday. Played Dublin last night, which was ridiculous and most entertaining, and probably we drank just a little bit too much. And now we're here in Limerick, a place that we've never played before. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, definitely.
So, it's been 2 years since your last year.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, yeah, you're right in what you say. It's been 2 years. We were last here with Scar Symmetry and Bloodshot Dawn, which was great fun, and we got a great reception. And what's happened since then is obviously we're doing the third album, which is going to be released at the end of the year, or hopefully the beginning of next year. And we wanted to come back to, friendly faces to try out some new music, basically.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do it on mainland UK. We wanted to come over here and have the crack, as it were, and play some new stuff. So that's what it's all about.
So, since you've been in Ireland, because you've been here a few days now,
Thursday.
apart from playing gigs, what have you been up to?
Recovering from horrific hangovers and travelling in vans, basically. Yeah, it's a bit of a whistle top tour. As I say, it's a short tour. There's not been much time for sightseeing really. It's literally been a case of fall into the van and on to the next show. So yeah. But I think this is what it's all about in places like this and Dolan's. It's fantastic. It's a good atmosphere, and that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons why we did want to come back to Ireland and play is the atmosphere has always been good for us. They've always kind of the hospitality and the atmosphere has been great. So that's what it's about.
So, you were here before with Scar Symmetry.
Yeah.
And now you're here headlining.
Yeah.
So, is there much of a difference for you apart from the obvious?
I think the thing is, it's long overdue that we did a headline show because the fact is when we came over with Scar Symmetry and Bloodshot, you've got two sort of tech metal bands and this humble little English. I don't know what you'd call us. We can't really pigeonhole ourselves anyway, but we're not tech death. So all these tech death kids were like, what the fuck is this? What the hell is going on? But they got it. So it's good to come over and give the whole show, which is going to have the first two albums in there. We'll have some stuff from The Awakening, we'll have some stuff from The Order of Chaos, and we're going to throw about 4 or 5 brand new songs in there as well, just to mix the whole thing up. So kids for the first time we'll get to see Beholder and its whole entity, its whole hideous mess.
Yeah, and so you're from the UK.
Yeah.
And you played your fair share in Ireland. Do you find a difference between Irish and British bands?
I don't know if there's a fundamental difference because obviously different regions up and down the UK kind of differ. The crowds in Plymouth and sort of down south are different to the crowds in London, who are again different to Manchester and Glasgow. Everybody's. What I would say is, what I've noticed is the support for the undercard bands. If they bring fans along, they do tend to hang around and watch the headlines and the main supports as well. Sometimes in England, there's a bit of apathy that you'll go there to support your band and then you go and wander off and you don't bother supporting the rest of the bands, which is kind of crap because that's not what we're into. As you see, Beholder are out there in the crowd supporting the support bands. Because that I think in the whole heavy metal community is something that's really important. So yeah, maybe that's the case that the Irish are, more. I guess in places like Limerick. I mean, how many do you have many metal shows in Limerick?
No.
No, exactly, and that room's pretty much full already, and the kids are ready for it. The kids are buzzing for it, which that's exactly what we wanted. Exactly what we wanted. So maybe the fact is in the UK because there's so many bands touring so often, familiarity breeds contempt, and kids kind of get a bit nonchalant and a bit lazy with it. But over here, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. And so, do you like to keep your sets plain and simple, or do you try and do something different for every set?
Well, for this set, because we're only at the moment we're a 4-piece band, and we've got like a depth guitarist in. We would love to be free and easy and start playing stuff from different, but the poor lad, he's only had like 2 weeks to learn the set. So if we started throwing in some more songs, I think he'd probably just have a minor breakdown. So we'll just stick with what we've got for now until we find another permanent guitarist. Bless him.
Yeah. So you're starting to write a new album,
Yeah.
so I hear.
Yeah.
And do you have any kind of direction that you're going in?
Yeah, without a doubt. The first album, The Awakening, was written in 6 weeks. It was a bunch of guys on the back of being a covers band originally. We decided that we were getting loads of coverage and whatnot as being a covers band. We said, well, let's have a go at writing our own. We wrote it in 6 weeks, but the fact is we look back at that album, although I love it, but there were songs on there that had like a power metal influence from one guy. There was another couple of songs that had the thrash metal influences from other guys. And there was like the hard rock, and it never really sort of sat together. It was like a mishmash. Then we come to the Order of Chaos, which was the last album, but Scott's first go at recording. And yeah, I think with the last album we were a bit too introvert and a bit too focused on the anger of what was going on at the time, and we were a bit gnarly and a bit pissy. And to be quite honest, it's sort of reflected in the songs, and there wasn't much in the way of, how do I say it, epicness. With this latest album, we've said, okay, the world is in a, because I write lyrics that are sort of based around what I know in the world at large. But I'm saying, okay, the world is full of shitheads, and the world is full of politicians, and it's full of greed, and it's full of cynicism, and it's full of, whatever. But at the end of the day, the chorus is about, yeah, but we can win. It's a bit more uplifting. I think that's the word I'm looking for. This album is a bit more epic and a bit more uplifting than The Order of Chaos, and it's more melodic. There's a lot more melody in this. We've worked really hard on the vocals, and it's probably a bit slower as well. It's a bit more, breathe in the air and sort of, without sounding like a hippie, but it's more like that and not so enclosed and angry. It's something we're really, really pleased with. And to let you know, the album is going to be called Reflections. There you go. So there you go. There's an exclusive for you.
Great. Is there a kind of certain way that you write the albums? Do you write the guitars first, or?
This time round is the first time that we've done it in the respect that that Scott and Chris have gone off as drummer and guitarist and written the songs, given them to me and said, put a lyric template to that, then we go into the studio and we go through them and rip it apart and make it better or worse and whatever. Before, it was a case that we were like the Borg. We'd have 5 of us stood around in a circle going, okay, anybody got any riffs? And you'd start jamming a riff and then somebody else would come in. And it was great, but I think for this album, because we wanted to get a continuity of, a continuity of sound and a continuity of feeling throughout the album, unlike The Awakening, which didn't have that because of all these different elements, it's worked really well. And yeah, it's basically a case of the guitars and the drums are written first, they come to me, I embellish it, make it better or worse or whatever, and then we sort of, pull it apart and make it what it should be, hopefully.
So, when it comes to your gigs and your sets, is there any kind of pre-gig ritual that you like to do?
Yeah, probably drinking. Drinking's pretty, I wish I could say that we were a band that, sit around joysticks and go, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. To be quite honest, we kind of separate a little bit as well, because we're guys that if we live in the van for any amount of time together, you want your own space, So we just go off and we do our own thing. And I say no, I don't even do vocal warm-ups or anything. I've given up smoking, so that's one good thing. I've not smoked for over a couple of years now, so that's making life a little easier. But no, we don't really sort of have a pre-gig ritual. Maybe we should invent something. In fact, maybe that's something we could throw out to the fans actually, and just say, okay, what pre-gig now? God, no, I'd hate to think what they'd come back with. To be honest, it'd be horrific, yeah.
Oh dear. What's the worst thing about being on tour?
I guess we get homesick to a degree. I mean, this is only a weekend. I mean, this is fine. This is like a boys' club. We're just going out for the weekend in Ireland. I mean, there's nothing to not like, is there really? Yeah. But I think if you're out for any amount of time, I mean, we did 19 shows in 21 days. That was hard because it was physically demanding. You'll see later that the fact is, beholden, don't hold back. And if you kind of, do an hour and a half show and throw it out there, physically, that's hard enough. But loading the gear in, loading the gear out, getting it on the van, going to the next venue. Look, I'm not going to stand here and say it's horrific, because it ain't. It's great. It's fucking brilliant. But I guess if there was a downside and where you get a bit pissy and a bit gnarly, it's because you're just tired. You do get tired, but look, it's better than having a real job. It really is. It's better than having a real job.
Oh, well, I won't keep you for much longer.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, good luck with the gig.
Thank you, Lauren. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hang around, we'll have a beer. And,
yes.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Nice one, mate. That's cool. Really cool. Yeah, reflections. We've got the artwork through now and all sorts. Don't think it's going to be out till April, I don't think. Simply because it's coming over to Norway to be mixed. And I've got a feeling this guy might take his time.
Yeah.
He likes smoking weed. He's got great ears, but he's really fucking lazy.
Oh, sounds like some people I know.
Yeah, sounds like pretty much all the fucking people I know. Right, cool beans. I'm going to drink some more beer and I'll see you in there, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you for everything.